Have you been feeling a little uneasy, even more so than usual in your life, trying to figure out who you are, trying to find your way? Or maybe you're looking at the world and you thinking something's really going wrong and things are happening that I don't completely understand. And you might be thinking you've screwed something up, you don't know what's going on. None of those things would be true. You are actually evolving as we all are. And you can choose to love yourself today. That's the message I'm supposed to tell you because that was one that I received last year, but it will make more sense for you today. And then I'll explain a whole lot of other things of what you might be feeling or what you might be confused about what's happening in your world or even within your family, because that could come up as well. But let me read the message first because it came through on this date in last year. And there's there's an order in the universe that we're all part of. We start to understand that, but I'm going to read this first. October 27, 2023. You can choose love now. When you do, you are choosing yourself. When you come to the physical plane, you have choices of how you might spend your life. And many times you make choices based on what has previously existed in your society or how all those around you influenced you. When you operate in this manner, you deprive yourself of your inherent gifts and you do not make the energetic contribution to your world that you intended. When you review what we provided 3 years ago, you will be more motivated to choose love, which means yourself and you and your world evolve. You th- October 27th, 2020, you thought you had to choose between money and love. That sentence reveals the source of the current difficulties in your world and most of the challenges you have experienced in your life. We have been sending Roger this information for some time, but it is only beginning to make sense to him, so he might offer it to you. Roger began mysteriously studying the pandemics and natural disasters throughout civilization, the corresponding results of those events, and how they shaped the world you know now. Upon careful examination, Roger noted that humanity became more humane each time. Every instance required accepting some part of the existing society previously denigrated due to the belief that only so much power goes around. While you ponder that a bit regarding your world, we will apply it to you because you decided to be here now to reach the next level of your evolution. That is different for each person, but it does exist for everyone. And when everyone allows himself to move to that next level in their lives, the world evolves, for you are an integral part. The part you did not accept is your importance in accomplishing this grand feat. We threw in that last sentence and it gave Roger pause because he knew the part we wanted him to include is that he and you have falsely believed you had to make that choice. When you discover no choice, you evolve, as does the world. You might also understand why we keep saying you will be fine. Now you can see that message came through 4 years ago. And to receive it and put it out there, I know a lot of people would not have made sense of that because we were heavily involved in the pandemic. I was getting other information. I was finding that I was given a brand new philosophy because our world was changing. That made no sense to me either. And so we can start to understand the science of it. We can understand the science of our entire universe. And we each have a part in that. And you have an integral part to play. As that message said, we all do. So what happened was in 2021, when I'm going for a walk, I'm told that I had something that could give any person the ability to really transform their lives and become whole, understand who they are, and then that would change our world eventually because then you start loving yourself and others, and we create something very different. You see, when it was revealed to me that this information was meant to be used in this difficult period in our world, It's only difficult because we're unwilling to change and we're unwilling to own ourselves as to love who we are. See, because when we love ourselves, we start to love others a bit more. That's an evolutionary process that we each move through individually. That's your ascension process. You'll doubt yourself, you'll be afraid, you'll go through all kinds of anger, you'll do all of those things because you're releasing something that was old, that was within your journey that you didn't know. And then you come to a place where you start to like yourself, then eventually start to love yourself because now you've moved through the generational trauma. And I do know this because that's the life that I was given, and that's what I was meant to bring into the world. As I keep talking about, I'll be 74 next week, and I have moved through everything in my life because of this work, which means I'm supposed to give it to others. I'm saying that because we all do that. We all come in with a unique path, plan, or something to follow that would give us the ability to live really great lives. Mine was quite different. And it surprised me. And when I was told that I was given a message on anyone's birthday that I would meet, I doubted that. And then now I'm finding that it's absolutely true. And then recently it's gone beyond that. It's gone beyond that because I can go back to different periods in your life. If you give me a year and your birthday, I can find a message that will relate to what you were moving through then. Because we're always moving through something, each of us, because we don't believe that we can accomplish something. So it's a process of evolving. We do that individually, and the world does that. So this particular time in our world is a grand shift that we're moving through to create a much better world. And that's the essence of the work that I was given, and it's what I'm giving to others. And we can all do that. It's just about that belief. And so now that I found that I have really basically, and I've said this to so many, or Wilhelm has said it, and I'm sure it's going to come out in our next live session, which will be next Friday, because there's a new moon and it's the best time for all of us to set new goals for what we want to manifest in our life. There's only energy. You use it to create your life, and we use it to create our world. And it's the quality of the energy that you choose to maintain or use that will really inform your life and the way it turns out. There is lower vibrational energies that we all have, and they're from our past, and we got to let them go. Now, that's on an individual and a collective level, but you can see at this point that's not really going on very easily, especially in the United States, because the United States had a lot of stuff to look at where we weren't doing the thing that said everybody is equal, everybody has something that they're meant to do. Well, I was given that information. And we don't always trust ourselves. I didn't trust this. In 2005, I had this very vivid dream of what I was given, something that was going to come into the world to cause us to become better, make our lives better, and also the world, because they work the same. That's a generational thing. We don't always get there. There are times where we didn't think that people like me, Black people, should be even exist or have freedom or equality. The same thing for women. And so we keep moving through those times where we accept more of ourselves, and then collectively we accept more in the world. That's the period that we're in now. And the more of us who decide that we're going to love ourselves, as that message said, meaning moving through all the old stuff, then we have great lives, and then we heal, which has been demonstrated through me because that's what this work did, and you can do the same thing. I'm saying this because you can accomplish anything. And I know it because it's only in your consciousness. And there are ways of changing that. And I've experienced all of them and I've done them. Now, I will tell you that it was challenging to believe I had done it, as it will be for you. But now we're not in a place where we can continue to doubt ourselves. You have a gift. And I know it because I've seen it. And that's the information I was given. When I went to Gaia last week and participated in the channeling conference, which I'm sure will be released at some point where you can see it. But at that time, I said I'm going to talk about planetary ascension because it's going on everywhere across the world, but it's changes of energy, and you are energy. And so if you decide that you're going to take advantage of this time, you'll live the best life ever, and you'll create something beautiful in our world, and everything becomes better. That's what happens, but we're not going to get there easily because we're unwilling to change sometimes. I wasn't going to tell you the entire story because it didn't make sense to me. How could I have received this? How could this have happened? But now I know that it has. And my people in my program know that as well. What I'm saying to you, though, you're moving through it big time in your world, in your life, because your world internally and externally are the same. So when you start to look at what don't I have now, you haven't connected to your authentic self. That's all. You haven't figured out your journey because you have one. Everybody has a unique journey. Sometimes they feel terrible. Mine was really horrible a lot of the time because of the things that I moved through. But that also gave me the ability to bring something in now, a greater understanding, so others don't have to move through that. I know the value of every single person because I can always see it. I've seen it for more than 35 years. But accepting that, you accepting that becomes another challenge. And it was that for me as well. But now that I know, I watched something with Carl Jung because I've talked about how I have used so much of his information. Didn't know I was doing that because I was receiving things intuitively, but it was about the synchronicity. Then you put that together and you understand that we all have the ability to use the repetition of certain things because we understand neuroscience, so we can create anything. We can change anything. We can heal anything. That's if we choose to do it. Now, I know it's true because that's what I have done, and that's what this work has done for me. That's what I wanted you to understand because I'm bringing this to the world because I know it's going to make a huge difference. And I'm talking about it now because we'll see more things coming up, especially in the United States, because all of our old energies, all of our old beliefs are coming up. They're generational and they're coming up all over the world. But that's due to the shifts of the planets that are affecting us all emotionally. But if you understand it, you can take advantage of it. My life was meant to bring in this work to give it to you because I know that you can create a really wonderful, brilliant life because I've seen it happen and I know the path to get there because it's only a matter of going through your consciousness to reach your authentic self. And that is when you love yourself. And you can do it. And the more of us who do that, we will have this really great world and we'll get through this transitional period with much greater ease. Please subscribe to the channel, share this with others, and attend the channeling session next Friday. You'll get so much value out of it. You'll have your questions answered. When I'm speaking as Wilhelm, I can always answer your questions, but you have something that's brilliant and you can love yourself today. See you soon.